Nouns up 1-0 against the Evil Geniuses. Nouns looking dang good here with stamina in the fold, with CJ on the team. I mean, it's looking solid. EG, though, was the T side that baffled them over on Mirage. Now let's see if they can do it on Overpass. Seems like we're going to be hit early on, and Nouns are really well set up for this, John.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Great read on to EG as to what they're planning. And now they're going to push on. Rush actually gets a lot of space from something. He's fully blinded, and that could cost him. No, it doesn't. George supports, takes down CJ. And now George is looking for more. bwills swings around to support too, and it's going to be Rush to be taken down. So a smoke lands at the feet of George. bwills, sorry, and there's a lot of chaos happening here, and in fact, Nouns have recovered really well. They get a couple of frags, bombs going to get planted, but bwills taps George down to the ground, giving Nouns another edge in another pistol round.
Carson didn't realize his gun was dry, but it will be all okay. Oh, on the Wiz, he's out of position as well. Can't deny this defuse, not even close. 4 kills for bwills in the round. Nicely played there from Nouns. And one thing I have to say that I'm noticing with these EGT sides, the flash timing is just a little off. We've seen a few really critical, it's not constant, but a couple really critical team flashes that lead to rough peaks. I mean, you see it in this first one. Rush didn't get killed as a result of it, but it's something you got to iron out in terms of timing.
Yeah, maybe that's the shift back to Walco being the IGL. I'm not sure if that would even have an impact on your flash timing, but yeah, it definitely needs to be fixed on the EG side if they're going to hope to have long-term success. The thing is, I want to talk about one thing, a couple of things, in fact, for EG. One is that was their first map loss in Season 43. Of ECL. And the second thing is here on Overpass, they've got a nifty little win streak, 5 games won in a row versus ATK Strife, Detonate, Snake's Den, and Iron Blood. And we got a battle early on here. Carson's going to get the opener, but Wiz and Walco come back with the pistols. They take down 2, and here we go. Even though a lot of damage is taken, of course, on the EG side, it still is a man advantage.
Lots of damage on EG, though.
Yep.
Rush, long-range engagement, not going to suffer the casualty as a result of that. They do need to figure out what they actually want to move. 55 seconds. They've shown a lot of presence towards long, and that is pulling the rotation. There's no 1B. There's no 1B for now. They've gone for a bit of a gamble on this one. The HE that they have for the retake could be huge. But it would be huger if they didn't leave this site completely vacant.
I'm just surprised that the rotation just took 1 Molotov and a flashbang, and they hightailed it towards the A site. Now they figured out what's going on, I think. I mean, they're all clearing towards short A and bathrooms.
They're about to know.
Yeah.
Certainly about to know. But they'll play together on the retake, and I don't actually mind this.
It's just
it's a question of timing here, John.
The nade has to be perfect. If it is, then they could take the round.
Certainly does make like a lot easier if you can collect one of these crosshairs before you gotta cross it. There's the HE. Oh, Walker low. There's the cleanup. It did soften him up. It was good bang for buck at that $300 high explosive. Wrap around from Rush. He's found the flank, and now a second kill as well coming in, and it's all left to stamina. He doesn't have time. He doesn't have the clock. He doesn't have the chance. He may make them all go up with the bang, but indeed, he will be dropped before that's an issue.
Wow. Just a fantastic start to that round from EG. A couple of frags come through. Nouns probably kicking themselves for not being able to finish off those players because they were just so very low. The pistols prevailed, and we're probably going to see it again here. Carson goes for that opening duel and gets it against George, but then runs out of bullets, and that's what led to one of the frags. And afterwards, you saw EG close it out against Nouns, who, I mean, just picked the wrong target, obviously, in Walco. Didn't know it. They were just trying to get something done with the HE, but Walco was one of the beefier players in terms of HP at the latter part of the round. Anyway, jumping into round number 3, EG, after losing pistol strike right on back, and Nouns, well, they're going to force up here. They got 4 deagles, a scout, 3 players with body armor, and a little bit of util to work with. Rush, in the meantime, going to go into lower tunnels, clear out connector, and no one's home.
Oh, George with the opener. Clean up. That's actually the only player on this side of the map. So, now there's a vacancy. And EG, they're looking to move in. They're looking to sign the lease, but not without caution. Say what you will about the CG side. They are never not cautious. Oh, okay. And Rush trying to get a window on towards construction. He's going to catch one upside the dome. Walker says, thanks for the upgrade. I'll keep it warm for you. Stan? Uh-oh.
Why?
He loses his life. I mean, trying to find some numbers, trying to find some information towards that B site, but he gives up the rifle. They didn't know. Now that was the full stack on, and now there's a decision to make for Nouns. Do you want to try and commit to do further damage into this round, or do you want to get this extra gun in towards Con and save it going forward?
They got 2 guns.
Yeah, 2 rifles. Gonna be coming up the top of the connector steps.
No,
and actually, they'll back away. All right, they are going to commit to the save.
Yeah, it's the better call. Keep the rifles up, and certainly helps considering that they forced up into this round. They didn't have much going to the next one if they don't pick up the rifles. So, yep, keep those safe and move on. Maybe bwills can hunt a little bit and try to find another one. Thing is, I mean, they pretty much had the A site on lockdown, and Stan's peeking around towards B. It's better off if he just goes to the B site instead of handing a rifle over to the Nouns side. But I get the play too, right? He's also potentially trying to attract attention towards B and make sure that the A site is even clearer for his teammates to plant. But yeah.
Not a substantial error.
No. A slight error.
Still does give them a couple guns to play with into this round. Look at this. Full-on stack for Nouns. They're not messing about with this one. They're just full-on in towards the B site, but with the Evil Geniuses taking space towards long, they may once again find themselves the free and clear plant on A. They just got Stan waiting. Forcing presence. Forcing some sort of presence here towards B, and, well, look who's found another vacant site.
I don't think they're going to... I don't feel like they're committing to A just yet.
They're playing a patient game. They're playing a cautious game.
Look where the bomb's going.
But no response, right? Eventually, you imagine they sniff on through.
I think Nouns is going to rotate off the B site and perhaps... Oh, maybe not, because Stanislav's about to show face.
The bomb is here, having seen absolutely nothing. The bomb is here now. Stairman found contact. Did he see the bomb as well? That nade will chip him down quite low, but 4 players are here, and George, meanwhile, says, guys, I am on A. Come back. Come on. Don't need to do this. And they are, in fact, going to rotate through Con.
Get that bomb out of there.
Yep, they're gone. The risk is averted. Crisis is as well.
Nice
They'll take the maximum amount of time out of this one. But that bomb will eventually make its way on over. Golly, John, did they milk the clock here?
Oh, yeah, that was a risky play to boot, right? With all those players rotating towards the B site and George saying, hey, guys, yo, come back. It's empty. But Nouns, I think, could try for this, at least with the pistols. Maybe try and tap some heads. No reason not to. Those pistols, as mentioned. George will at least get one. There's the second. bwills connecting with one as well. And then Cynic finds Rush. 2v3. Still some time left, but maybe not. There are no kits left. And now with Carson as a last bastion of hope. Well, he's not even last bastion of hope. He's towards the B site. He is saving.
He's the player they needed to save, right? A little bit below 2K. Worth keeping this gun up. Giving him an easier time into the next rifle round, but it is EG building back an early lead. But we did have that on Mirage, so not exactly ready to give them a full vote of confidence just yet. Still, it's promising. This round's going to have the op up for Wiz. Not one for his compatriot on the other side. His counterpart, rather. I am excited to see Stamina get the op up on this side. I'm curious about it, John.
Yeah, same here. I mean, they haven't had the opportunity yet, but it's going to come. Only a matter of... That bang continues to pile on the W's here. CJ, going to be waiting at sandbags. Always crosshair. This is a mistake. Yep, CJ's going to go down, and now that opens up so much space here for EG. There is a bit of a crossfire working its way into this B site. 4 Nouns. Both players just fall by the wayside, with bwills only salvaging 1, so this round is probably already over for the Nouns side.
Cynic's thinking about giving it a look-see, but that Molotov should make his decision for him. Stamina's already out of there.
Nearby, yeah.
Don't even know why Cynic's staying. Looking for an exit, perhaps. Looking for a hero play. This is not within the realm of possibility.
No, I think he should get out of here, but it's, I guess, the typical NA save.
Gotta get that one more. To be fair, at this point, with Stam pushed through, backing off, retreating may not exactly be the option. Neither is sticking around. Goodbye, George. Otherwise, all good. EG move on.
Yeah, George will take that trade any day of the week, given how much money that EG have built up and how little Nouns have available to them. I think they're only going to have this A4. Okay, Carson. Carson's forcing up. He's got the A1S. I don't think the rest of them have to necessarily. Carson just had a little bit of extra money to play with. And yeah, that's all that's going to happen here. Maybe some pistol upgrades, but outside of that, Nouns are hoping that these 2 rifles can do the damage. EG continue to abuse this B site, and here they come again.
Entry! Walko takes 2. Okay. Could have been dangerous for a moment with the pistols collapsing upon him, but it is the stack in towards B. Again. This time, again. Really dismantled. Entirely dismantled. Just on a Cynic with a 5-7 and a dream. And that dream was concentrated into an HE that went nowhere. It fizzled out.
That's a bleak outlook, Mike.
Well, look, I mean, it's kind of the reality of competition, right? Yeah. These are 2 teams trying to enforce their will and trying to keep their dreams alive. And, well, they're not dying tonight, but one of these teams is going to be at serious risk getting knocked down to the lower bracket.
True. Just Mike's message here, guys. Don't dream. They all fizzle out.
Dream. Just always be prepared for it to be crushed. Or just dream and be better. Be better than everyone else.
Yeah.
The true dream. That's the American dream right there. Competition.
Got a timeout.
We do. They did. They wanted to hear about my views on dreams.
Yes.
They took a little bit of time to talk things through, figure this out. Just to give you an update on the other games going on around the league. MIBR are up 1 map over on Team 1. It's on to Team 1's map pick, I believe. Over in the lower bracket, ATK up 1-0 against Disconnected. And Iron Blood up 1-0 against Vendetta. That game is in fact being played, which is nice.
Yes. I honestly would have favored Vendetta in that one. Although, you know, Iron Blood are no slouches.
I'm not sure. I think Vendetta is very individually talented, but at least when I've watched them, I don't think it's been a very complete picture just yet, which admittedly they've gone through some very recent changes, so that could be an aspect of it, but they did look a little lost. Iron Blood, meanwhile, has been together for a lot longer, so there's an element of confusion there. It's toughy. Cynic gonna try and take the initiative here. Try and take the momentum back in his favor, and it's actually going to work out. A little bit more of a dynamic play here from Nouns now that they finally have the guns back. But Carson will not be able to get away from the storm drain. So, advantage lost. They'll try and get back in. Everybody's here. Unfortunately for EG, the nature of this map is that they can't rotate this that quickly, and the Molotov's going to slow them down. Here comes the play. CJ knows he's under pressure. He's trying to get the heck out of dodge. They're coming through. This is relentless. This is merciless. They're even chancing their own mollies to do this. That's a kill, a second as well. Wiz and George chiming in. Wombo combo here in Stamina. He just finally got the op. It's the first time he's had it this map. He says, I don't want to lose it yet. You can't take it back away from me. I'm out of here.
Oh, my goodness. Look, fantastic Molotov placement from EG. They take so much ground away from CJ that he can't really maneuver, and his only choice is, well, he has two choices: die or fall back, because the amount of ground that he had to move around in was so very limited. And once he falls back, a perfectly timed push from EG comes through, and they take care of everyone on the site. Wow, that was clinical. And it's just goes to show how much experience this squad has on Overpass and how easily they can play with you on the map. Just throwing Nouns for a loop time and time again. And not to mention, Nouns, it feels like they don't know what to do, right? In terms of rotations, like, do we go? Do we not? Could they be rotating off or coming back to the site? And EG knows that.
Mm-hmm. Response from Nouns. Just 4 players go down towards lower immediately, right? They've been bullied off of B so many rounds. They're like, all right, everyone's here. Cynic, you get to watch all of A. Con, bathrooms, fountain, long. It's all yours. We're not going to lose another B take. And unfortunately for them, B take's not coming this time.
Oh, it's perfect for EG.
Counterpunch is being thrown. Cynic has to be a bit careful about this timing. If he can catch some damage here. Oh, he's got the timing. No! Nothing done. Just damage onto George. And now they're going quick off of it. A pick found. Meanwhile, from Stanislaw is going to soften up this rotation. The deep Molotovs mean there's no one in position. The utility is on point here for EG, but so is Stamina. All right, off in action. We were waiting for it to show its face. It's already got 2 kills.
They lost the bomb, Mike.
They did, in towards site. They'll have to commit on towards A, but they're so wary of Stamina coming up on the flank right now. Carson, the trade is there, but it was a TK. And then Rush brings it one more. On the clutch. Stamina Rush. Experienced. Major winner on one side. One cheeky Stamina boy on the other side. Holding a, I think he's got a big dick op sticker there.
Really?
Not sure if that's his or somebody else's. Yep. Big dick and then naps on the scope. A classic.
Yep.
Art, really. Oh, lost it on time. Lost it on time. Won it on the kill. Rush trusts that he's going to be peeked on and slams a little teabag in there for extra flavor.
I mean, you have to if you're Stamina. Given how much time was left, you figure he's sticking the plan. I'm going to peek him and get the easy frag, but Rush outplays him, goes for the duel instead, and EG again pick up the round. That is 7 in a row. It looked so good for Nouns, and Stamina with that AWP continues to impress us. The thing is, unfortunately for him, it was in a losing effort. Wow. EG bringing out all the tricks in their book here on Overpass. It just feels like they've been a step ahead every single time. Already an impressive T side being pulled off by EG with 7 rounds picked up, and it could get even better here with Nouns Esports opting for the force buy instead of saving. That means Util is so very light, only a smoke and a flashbang to work with, 3 FAMASas and 2 A1Ss. Look at the posturing from EG as well. They love going to this B site, and Nouns, having guessed wrong in the previous round, say, you know what, maybe they're going to hit A. Let's try and take that aggressive control of Fountain. They dedicate 4 players to this. Oh, and this could get catastrophic again for them, as only bwills is defending here.
It just feels like Nouns can't pick right. They can't pick right. They are losing this show game once again. And the lone B-site defender bwills says, really? This is the round you come back? Really?
And
Rush corralling this. I mean, as much as it felt like Nouns is picking right every round on Mirage, it's the other way for sure here on Overpass. EG playing them like a fiddle. Bomb now down. Even with that loss of Rush in towards Con, it's just not really going to make a ton of difference in their ability to respond to this. You see they're backing away. Cynic getting up top, shot no money, and a shot to the back of the dome for Carson means there's even one less rifle to play with.
Look, I mean, George might go down. Yeah, he does. But Welko built a career on this map, Mike, as an IGL. So if anyone is good at embarrass Nouns on this map.
Couple parting shots here. Doesn't really make a huge difference. There's plenty of money there for the T side. And an 8th round found in this first half. Down beyond the Brazil scoreline. We're on to the 8-1.
It's just poetry in motion for evil geniuses.
Really is. I mean, it just feels like, you know, at this point they should hit the slots.
Yeah.
Because everything's coming up jackpot. Oh, one player on B, we're in B. One player on A, we're in A. Ah, there's no one here. We just walked on.
I think it's also credit to them for the way they're pacing their plays, right? And how they're going back and forth between the sites and convincing Nouns to kind of play into their hands. Well, CJ spamming through Squeaky because the EG have sent someone there pretty much every round, but this time, no, Stan. Well, I mean, in the early going, Stan typically is towards Monster, and then he rotates in to Connector. But as it stands right now, evil geniuses are posturing towards the A site, and finally Nouns have said, look, maybe we should just go for a more standard setup. 2 players on A, 3 towards B. Even then, Stanislaw catches off CJ because no one's watching.
If you're going to play like that, if you're going to play peeking towards Connector, further back into the corner at least, I mean, that's just... He just walks out. He just walks out. And George just walks in as well. Completely isolated fights. They're just getting the better of them on timing. Now you've got bwills in a really tough position playing with an MP9. At least Cynic will bring back the kill on Stanislaw. So now they can trust the rotation a little bit more. They don't have to be constantly worried about that lurk coming through. You've got Carson on towards the site. This can help the defense a little bit more. Cynic's rotating up. You've got the rifles here. They get a chance. They get a chance. EG a little bit slow on this take. But if the execution's good, it just won't matter. Carson deploys smoke to give himself cover. bwills on the scene. And, oh my goodness, in the blink of an eye, it's all falling apart.
What? How does that even happen? Okay, well, you kind of described it.
They tunnel visioned on Carson at the truck and completely forgot the fact that there was another player and they hadn't cleared back.
Exactly. And I think part of the reason why Nouns is able to take that is because, like you said, Cynic finding Stanislaw essentially clears up the space towards the B side and lets Nouns say, okay, B is not the destination. Stan is clearly the lurk. Let's rotate back to A, and everyone goes there. And finally, they make the right call. And you also mentioned that tunnel vision towards Carson. Absolutely. And I mean, credit to Nouns for setting up that MP9 in the right position to really kill the well. So they get a second round, and there we go, an opening frag. Maybe that's the round Nouns needed to get back into this one, and they could find themselves in a 5v3 advantage if they play their cards right here at Connector, because Walco is slowly but surely creeping in, and there are 2 Nouns that are potentially waiting to greet him, but no, George manages to get a response before they can take a bigger man advantage, and he evens up the numbers at a 4v4, although it costs him quite a bit of HP.
Don't need health when you just hit headshots. Grandpappy always said. See? CJ demonstrated it nicely. His was just an MP9. Still hits them headshots. Stanislaw's trying to lurk his way out around the smoke, but there's 2 players here. And he is, in fact, a dead man. So goodbye, Stanislaw. Pressure on. Wiz alleviating that a little bit, but he's setting himself up for a duel with Stamina. Stamina playing the crack in this one. Pepper off a shot, not gonna land it. Next duel, a duel between the Operas, a duel of the Fates. Stamina looking to support instead, and well, that's a timely flashbang. Right as Wiz goes to swing, he's got no vision, and he is dealt with.
Well, speaking of poetry in motion, Stamina there throwing a flash for himself, getting the frag on the flank when, you know, Wiz was trying to distract him by firing off a few shots. Stamina wasn't buying what he was selling. And ends up taking care of business on both ends. Nouns all of a sudden have 2 rounds in a row and momentum potentially swinging in their favor. EG on their last full-on buyout before needing to go for a save. It's going to be 3 AKs, a Galil, and BWP, and Walco wants to take a little bit of space faster here into connector. Throws the Molotov up, and he will gain it for his squad. Carson getting ready to toss a flash to support his squad. Working with Walco, and there it is. Smoke fade favoring Walco. CJ is the first casualty in the round, and EG are back to their usual ways with that early man edge.
Gonna leave George maneuvering outside of the bathrooms. So as I say that, he withdraws. Of course, can't prove me right. I said the hit's going to come back in towards B. You've got Carson tucked up by Toxic. You got bwills maybe wandering his way back in here. So a decent hold on the setup. Decent play for it. Here comes the execution. Flying on through. Carson 1, Carson 2. Looking for a third. He's got it as well. And that's going to be a brilliant hold from Carson. Now JustWiz in this clutch. Oh, he's got the first shot for the second, but bwills puts him down to dirt. And that's Nouns pulling around. That looked very dangerous through.
That was okay. I'm a little bit confused as to EG's decision-making there. They had 2 Molotovs to work with and instead tried to take it more or less dry. I mean, there was a flashbang in the mix there, but they had a lot of utility that just went completely unused on that attempted take of the B site. And prior to that, I was praising them for how well they were using their util. That time, definitely the opposite. They need a timeout here to talk things over because it felt like that round played out the way they wanted it to. They got the opening frag. They had the ability to play it slow and get into the heads of Nouns, but instead of, executing the way they had previously on the B site, nothing. I don't know what it is, Mike.
Here. EG setting up.
Yeah.
Well, they're knowing EG, they will set up like they're going to rush right in and then start 36.
They like to play that way. They always have. At least under Walco's calling.
That's done. Oh, here comes the Utah. Let's go pretty quick with it. Carson under pressure here by Toxic. He's got support though. 3 players here, and once again, Carson delivers for the first. Looking for more as well, and yeah, just right into the meat grinder. This is a great setup for exactly the play EG we're trying to run. They have been red. Shoes on the other foot for that one. Nouns calling it right.
Just feels like EG are getting too comfortable with their leads, and they stop playing the way that allowed them to get there.
Maybe. I think in some of the early rounds we saw them calling similar strategies. They were just picking the soft site, right? And maybe that perfect touch for predicting what the presence is has fallen off just a little bit.
Their util was very poor though in the previous round. Not that round, but the one before, Mike. I'm sorry. Like that was not their usual execution. Either way, here we go into round number 14, and this feels like a repeat of Mirage, where EG got off to an incredible start, but Nouns started to get on the run in the latter part, and let's see if maybe EG can put a stop to that. Carson has been key to this run, and again, another 2K for him. Walco and Rush go into his crosshair, and he's not really fussed at all. Still has 56 HP to work with. I mean, he can stay on this B site by his lonesome for a little bit longer. Reinforcements wouldn't hurt, because Stanislaw is threatening here, but the smoke fade favors Carson, and he gets himself a third. The one-man show here for Nouns on to B, meaning that Nouns can just get comfortable on this A site and wait for EG to come to them, which is likely going to be their destination. And there you go, Cynic towards long, gets the bomb dropped at his feet, or close to his feet. And George will have to walk back and recover this one, but this is all Nouns now.
I think you have to give a huge credit for this turnaround to Carson specifically as well.
Absolutely.
He's just given them such a spine, a backstop on the B site, right? Even when they've not got the numbers, when Carson looks at the isolated, he's still pulling out multi-frag after multi-frag, and that's just tough to contend with here for EG. George, stuck into the corner now. Don't imagine he's getting out of this one, and I think he knows it. I think he takes some of his opponents along with him. I think the answer is 1. Just the one. Another kill for Carson, a 4K for him. Why not? I think he's tacked on about half of his kills in the last 3 rounds.
Yep.
Now we've got one more of the half as Nouns look to close the gap.
It really has been a very top-heavy in terms of his fragging, but an incredibly important one, right? 8-6 now. He was 8-1. Unbelievable. Again.
Yeah.
I feel like we're watching the first map on repeat.
Maybe just a little bit of staleness here from EG. Nouns getting a feel for the way they're calling. Getting the vibe. Aggression in towards construction here, taking the initiative. Oh, that's going to be answered from Connector this time. Rush getting that opening pick, and now a lot of map control. Nades chase it back. Damage on a Rush, but nothing too substantial just yet. And Stamina's on a bit of an island here towards A. See if the Opera can shine. Hasn't necessarily been called on or relied on in some of these rounds. But now is his moment. They're pressuring. Snapping that divider. First one found. Smoke, a little late. And he's overwhelmed. Carson lost on the other side of the map, and now this is looking very good for the Geniuses. A 9th round here would be a great gift to take into the half. And looks like they're in the spirit of giving right now on the Nouns side, because this is going to be a toughie. bwills will need a group and his teammate. See no sense in saving here. It's a tough retake. No util. Kits at the very least, but 4 players to find. And both of you coming from the same position here. No element of surprise whatsoever. Time starting to tick low. They need to make their move, and they know it. First contact goes the way of EG. Second does as well. And it's a 9-6 as we get ready for the half here, John.
Yeah, at least they get that last one to make it 9-6, and it's still a very good T side, don't get me wrong. Just the way they lost all those rounds in a row got the bad taste in their mouths, and certainly did for me. But we'll see if they can use those 9 rounds, have a strong CT side, and close this one out to send us over to round 3. If Nouns are going to continue their comeback into this one, we have to wait a little bit. We're going to hit a break. When we come back, second half of action.
3-round lead and a quick pick for Stan. My goodness, that's a quick start.
Wow. Yeah.
20 seconds in and there's already a body down. Goodbye, stamina. Stamina, Stanislaw. Feels like they, you know, could be brothers in another world. But Carson right now is going to see if he can't be a bomb planter. And the answer is he can.
Wow.
Stanislaw is not going to be able to do anything about it. He gone. All right. Space given. Space secured, John. This one's looking risky, though. Wiz will try and stay alive on the periphery, and he's going to do a great job of it. Now they know where everyone is. Is there smoke? Ah, if there was a smoke, this would be a really tough hold. There is not. Well, there is going to be a tap from George. There needs to be a whole lot of pistol headshots here, John. Just trying to defuse. Well, bwills, he has to go for the reload. Oh, they might just get it. I just stuck it right there. bwills couldn't connect.
bwills just kept tapping and tapping and tapping, and his shots would not connect with the diffuser. And EG steal one away after it looked like Nouns might have enough in the tank in that pistol round to take it again. I'm pretty sure Nouns up to this point were perfect, or almost perfect on their pistol rounds, and well, finally EG are able to crack through. Get one in their name that helps them get a 10th round. Double digits found, only 6 more rounds, and they can send us on over to Inferno. Another map they've been very strong on, but EG now going to force up with the Galils, and it works immediately. Cynic's blinded up, but he connects onto the head of Wiz. Stanislaw trying to find the trade here. In fact, he just wants to get that A1S back into their hands, and he does do exactly that. The thing is, he sacrifices a lot of space towards long, and that is going to give Stamina what he needs in order to find another frag for his squad. 5v3 now.
bwills collecting another one on the Walco. Goodbye, good night, and likely goodbye to this round as well. Question about whether Rush really wants to try and contest this, or if he might just try and back away. The bomb's going down. 5-on-2, not an appetizing prospect. That's a protracted fight. Damage for both sides. Inconclusive. And George, yeah, he just has the MP9, but he also has armor, a smoke, and a flash. It's a lot to save here. I don't know that Nouns are going to be feeling terribly charitable about allowing them to.
Given what EG brought into this round, Mike, I was surprised to see that much aggression towards Fountain. You know, with FAMAS and MP9s, you want to play the closer angles. They're not going to give you that much range, mid-range at most for a FAMAS, but yeah. Go for too much aggression, and they immediately get punished.
Well, it was a peak with the A1S
true.
Wiz
Yes.
out towards Fountain. And I mean, to be fair, about a bullet away, a body shot away, a leg shot away from finishing that off. Just couldn't quite execute. So you understand. I mean, if you get a pick there early on, you're able to withdraw. It certainly would have worked out, but the execution's just not there. And now Nouns get themselves a very helpful round.
I still would rather have the A1S on site. You know, play more passively given what you have around you. Anyway, look.
Hindsight, as they say. 2020.
2020, yes, sir.
It's 2022 now, so gotta get with the times. Now, I'm gonna be trying to do for much longer. Time keeps moving. Rush boosted up. Does find himself a kill early on. That FAMAS will immediately drop down to the booster, or the boostee. Wiz can withdraw. It doesn't have armor, so he might want to give that to one of his teammates, but at least for the moment, it's still in play. Stand the timing. Oh, goodness. He gets that. It's traded, but a CZ, that's well worth it. Wiz tries to execute off of his presence. That may have been a bridge too far. But this round is still in doubt. And with George having gained a lot of information out towards Fountain, how does he respond to this, knowing that nobody's here? Walker with a deagle. Slips further back in towards B. I think he's hoping they go up connector and maybe overlook his position. Over on the George side of things. It does seem like they're going to redouble their efforts here.
Malco has a chance to pop ahead here, and no. It's just too good, the positioning there for Cynic and CJ, and pretty much everyone that's left on Nouns pushing up from sandbags. George will try and come in on a flank, but with MP9, and B was watching with the Galil and also spotting the info, yeah, this one's probably done. I think George is going to grab this FAMAS and get the heck out of George.
closing the gap ever further are Nouns.
Yeah, and especially after a pistol round victory from EG. Finally, they get the pistol and they lose the following two, and their economy is not in a good spot either.
No, it is not. Not exactly ideal here, John. So, I mean, presumably going to have an eco, maybe a partial buy around this FAMAS as the loss bonus starts to build up. Something on Wiz, perhaps. Georgia could drop a pistol, maybe. But I think this is pretty much going to be a dry eco around the FAMAS. And we're going to really get a sense of this. We are going to need a little bit of time here. We got a player restarting their router. So we'll be back in just a flash. we're back. Minor technical difficulties there, folks, but all good. All good. We're back on the road here. George with the one rifle, otherwise just Oospas. One smoke on Wiz. One flash on George. All they got in the utility, and, well, it's going to take a bit of a miracle here. Make something of this round, and goodbye, Thomas. bwills has found it, and bwills has dealt with it.
Yeah, I mean, bwills sees one player where he really shouldn't be. It's like, oh, this is a boost. Easy 2K. Just gonna spray up and down.
That's not how gravity works.
Yeah.
Oh, world. Clean sweep. On to the next one.
Yep.
Forget about that round, John.
I mean, just a gamble by EG with only auspices, as you aptly say. And of course, that one FAMAS that went down for the count immediately. They tried, you know, try something nifty. Doesn't work. On to the next. 10-9, though. The lead has just evaporated. Right now, it's an 8-2 run by Nouns, since that lead was just stolen away. Or almost stolen away, I should say. Anyway, still going to get tossed on forward. CJ tosses a smoke into that Molotov. He'll back off promptly afterwards. Wait for the cavalry to arrive, as it looks like Nouns are heavily posturing towards a B site, and they've already got the util toss. They like to go for these quicker sometimes, and here it comes into Monster. They'll have to have a quick frag on the George. That flashbang is so timely from Rush, though. He supports George in a big way, and Walco gets the follow-up. Excellent pushback here by EG, but 3 strikes for 1. There's the second from Stamina. Here we go.
Go indeed. Minute can hit on the clock. Down to the even numbers here. Nouns turtling up a little bit here outside of construction. Actually, Rush might be pushing this. Rush might be pushing this. Timing will be everything here. Does he catch one on the bail?
No.
Does bwills try and join his teammates, though? Because now Rush has the angle. So if bwills moves, got the time to spare, so they're going to leave him in position. Now bwills will get activated, but Rush can't find the shot. He does eventually. So now it's just going to be about these two players. Stanislaw shifting into position to contend with this. He's on a bit of an off angle, a bit of an unusual spot, but timing, the crosshair came off the check long at just the wrong moment, and now the bomb is down. The eagle has landed. This eagle goes boom. So 2-on-2 here, John. This is a tough retake, but they really could use it over on the EG side. Rush trying to find some sight lines. The problem is clearing out this close angle with the op. Not an appetizing prospect. And now Wiz giving up the audio cue. His position's known. He's backing away. EG aren't going for this one.
Yeah, you got to go. As soon as the audio cue gets given up, your position is gone, and you need to save the op. Given the amount of money that EG have left in the bank, and that one just fizzles away. Nouns lose stamina to the bomb, so that's going to cost them a little bit, but they don't really care. I mean, bwills on 12K, so is CJ, along with Cynic. So here we are, tied up 10-10. Just a great job by Stamina and his teammate to open up that space towards the B site after EG had that fantastic start, right?
Yeah. Again, a similar storyline to Mirage, right? EG have not been able to sustain. Nouns have heated up into the game, and EG have cooled down. A double push out long, it seems. Jump for, they've got the info. They don't have the kills, though. Wiz and Rush, two-piece there. What a great way to start the round. Now they just need to close.
That's the only 2 rifles they have, too, right? Already connecting for those frags, and now Nouns are going to try and take this B site, realizing it's probably pretty soft, and there it go, it is. CJ gets the headshot onto George, and the rifles need to take some time to run back to B and join this fight.
You've got Stanislaw developing the flank, coming all the way around. You got Wiz scoped up. That's going to freeze up CJ in towards construction. Unless Wiz makes the move. Steel wing, got off timing. Big find for CJ. The op's not a threat anymore. And someone's watching for Stanislaw's push. Waiting for this contact, and bwills is so very ready for it. So the recovery here, brilliant for Nouns. Initial move, initial opening here from EG. Great read, great execution. But they just could not hold up on B.
I think the counter read was great by Nouns, though, right? Because probably realizing the economy was a little precarious. Maybe, you know, those are the only 2 rifles they have. Let's go for a quick push into B and try to find that space. And they absolutely did. They get the opener, and then the rest of the bodies just come their way. But they've already gained that foundation, that firm hold of the B site by that point. And, I mean, there was nothing that EG was able to do. I love the opener, though, but, you know, the follow-up wasn't there from EG. Still, they will have rifles here. Lots of util being exchanged, Mike.
Play Cynic off the flashbang. Walker dead to rights, and now, I mean, this is a round that EG really cannot afford to give up here. Not looking good. CJ, a big follow-up. Do they expect win in this position? No, they don't. It's not where you would expect an offer.
Yeah.
Not the spot. George coming through. Rush peeks back in. This one swung on the hinges. Cynic, though, not going to be cowed. He'll just keep moving out. Doesn't have the bomb. Make life a lot easier. They do have enough time for him to mount some shenanigans. Here come those shenanigans. There goes the spot. I wonder how much the familiarity of George with this Nouns team does help. You know, he sees it's Cynic and he's like, well, what's he trying to do?
Yeah.
Thing is, look, Carson has full control of A, so Cynic just grabs his bomb and actually goes for the full long rotation. 25 seconds. I don't think he has time. He doesn't think he has time. He's going back in towards B, and that's going to be disastrous. It's going to be disastrous. He has to come back into this fight, and now with the bomb dropped, it's over. There's just not enough time for Carson to work this one. Damage would be nice. If he could take down a 1 HP George or anyone else, that would be nice for the long game, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, finally, Evil Genius is finding a way onto the scoreboard again here in this second half. Only their second round, and that's what we were saying back on Mirage, and, well, we know how that one ended. It was Nouns continuing to carry the momentum on forward, even though EG did have rounds like this on that second half. Let's see if EG can finally mount a little bit of momentum for themselves, though. Nouns, no problem buying. Their money is just fantastic. 4 AKs in the op going to come up. Over on the EG side, same story. Just A1S is in place of the AKs. And let's see if they can restore that lead. Nouns going to work more heavily towards the A site this time. They still got that presence in towards Monster to CJ lurking. Maybe a little bit of a quick play coming through from Nouns, but Stanislaw denies both players into connector. Cynic and bwills go down 5v3 just like that. And this time around, there's no one really there to respond for Nouns like the last time. So, yeah.
No one at all. We'll grab the bomb. They'll start to shift on over, but this is a pretty prime situation for EG. Stan's going to work himself into the corner for a stall-out strat. Maybe a bit of a one and done, but with Wiz close at hand, they can play off of each other for that long control. Stamina gonna come this way. Solo Dolo with the AWP. Time's not that big of a pressure just yet. Stamina's making a lot of noise here. He's got the first. All right, here we go. Stamina making it happen with that op. He's gonna come toe to toe with Wiz next. Reinforces the form of Walko. Wiz taking off the dice box. Uh-oh.
No way.
Uh-oh. It's falling apart. Carson with the headshot. Walko can't line it up. The bomb's going to make its way over towards site now. And this has just been ripped wide open. They could not hold at all. They just couldn't land a shot. And Rush and George have a really tough decision. The money's in the toilet, John.
I mean, Mike, again, it's a 5v3. That it completely falls apart. They don't get another frag after the opening 2-5 unanswered there from Nouns. I mean, that could be the match. That round could literally dictate how this one goes.
It could. It could indeed. Stamina just making it happen out towards long with that op, and then Carson coming in to capitalize.
Unreal. Great work from Stamina. He has certainly shown us that he is a good offer, perhaps even great. here playing against this EG squad. And, well, EG are relegated down to pistols only, Mike.
I'd say we need a bigger sample size before we start throwing words like great around. I'm impressed by the early results.
You know, he's got
I'm enjoying
5 BO3s, including this one under his belt where he's played well.
He's got how many?
5, including
Oh, yes. The largest of sample sizes.
There you go.
Cynic. A nice opener. It's just the pistols on the other side. Everyone knows after 5 BO3s, you can totally judge a player in a role.
At least you get an inkling. And
Yes.
so far,
Early results are encouraging.
yeah, exactly.
But
Come on, give him a little credit.
that was a
Mike.
good round. I'm not taking any credit away from him. I'm just saying, Johnny, you're a little quick to crown the guy. I've enjoyed Stamina as a player in a lot of different roles.
Exactly.
It's just the opping, you know, it's definitely one that can be a high pressure role.
It's more of an unknown for him, but he's going to fully embrace it. He is remaining their primary opper even when he takes the IGL duties.
That does seem to be the plan at the very least. George's smoke. This better be the best smoke you've ever seen. It's going to simultaneously somehow smoke construction and monster with it. It's his secret split smoke technique. You have to enter the secret Konami code console. And Gaben comes in and cuts your smoke down the middle. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. And the smoke will be deployed. Not terribly effectively. This nade is about to take a player out. Goodbye, George. Okay, little answer from Walco. A little answer from Rush. All right, a little intrigue. A little intrigue, perhaps. A little intrigue, perhaps, from Rush again. Uh-oh. But no. Here's the recovery. Here's the control. Here's the last bullet going to be zeroed on in there. It's Stamina to put the last one away. And Nouns avoid disaster.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's Carson on the B site, Mike, and when he's there, everything's okay on the Noun side. That's his playground, his home. And he did a great job ensuring that those 2 frags would come through, and of course, isolating the last player and helping his teammate ensure that they would get that round. So anyway, look, 13th round picked up there by Nouns, 2-round lead now. What does EG do? Because now this will be a buy-up. You got the op for Wiz. You got the 3 M4s, probably a 4th coming through for Rush, unless they decide to go for a double op, which they haven't done at all.
Not a team that loves the double op.
No, they prefer to keep it only on Wiz, but...
Not really a map that tends to favor the double op either.
You can play it pretty easily with 1 on B, 1 on A.
Teams just don't generally do it.
It kind of hamstrings you on the retakes.
Yeah. Pushing in towards B, some of those fights can be quite difficult. Really does dictate how you have to play the site.
I just want to see a different look, I guess. So.
Yeah. Something to change up, something to give it a little bit of fresh blood. Understandable. Well, Rush is going to go for some long aggression. This is a bit of a much more aggressive look.
Definitely.
Problem is the opera's falling away early on. Now Rush is going for the peak. He's going to catch Carson blindside and information on quite a few more. Molotov to prevent the chase down. Give him a little bit of space to back away. That's a nice find early for Rush. Nouns will try and keep them off balance. Try and keep Rush from getting away from this scot-free. And he just has no help. Wiz at least will bring a kill back in, but no one came in to help him out of that spot. What's Dan going to do on this next peak? This is a critical fight. EG. And he's got it. He's got the first, at the very least, the second as well. And now Nouns are left reeling. It's just CJ to see what damage he might do.
CJ should be taken down here, and he is. Walco closes the gap. Pincer attack is on, and EG do get their 12th on the board. But, you know, it is Stanislaw that comes through with a nice little play there, gets the 2K. It starts with Rush, of course, that peak towards long, but I think Stan kind of seals the deal. The thing is for Stanislaw, at least in this BO3, hasn't looked at all the way he did in the regular season. He's got those flashes of like, oh yeah, that's the Stan we saw, but it's very, very inconsistent.
I do wonder whether those statistics may be inflated by bullying, shall we say, less tested competition.
Mike, they bullied everyone in regulation, including MIBR. Team 1 only 1 map because of the forfeit in the second one, but still, like, even the top teams they did very well because they only got double kill scored against them 3 times.
Stamina up, shooting a bullet through his opponent's legs. And that's not how you do it. Stanislaw gets 2. Ways tagged up, will back away, but a man advantage delivered here from Stanislaw. And look, I mean, you call him out. He's delivering in this round. Oh, nice shot on for Wiz. Looking good for it again as EG look for the equalizer. And now you've got 2 very isolated players in CJ and bwills just trying to do something towards the right side of the map. bwills will attempt to join his compadre, and CJ finding something here. Might just give themselves some space to work with. Spot back through. Walco with the reposition. He's not red. He's not red, but bwills. Trade. 3. First kill already found, John.
Oh, could get the second.
Realm of possibility. Has the right idea. There's the peak. Wiz is just so quick on the trigger.
Well played from Wiz, and EG hang on to get a 13th time. Not going to be called here. And I guess I can talk a little bit more, but yeah, like, they bullied their entire division. 7 a.m. got 10 rounds against them, exactly 10 in a 16-10 loss, or I should say 16-10 win for EG Black. MIBR made it as close as any team did with a 16-14 scoreline on Vertigo, and then it was Strife 16-10 on Inferno was the win there. Those are the only teams that were able to get double digits against EG in the regular season. So every other map that they played was single digits and dominance.
Well, they could certainly use some of that dominance back here because it's been anything but up against Nouns.
Yeah.
And now, got the chance to take control once more. An eco coming through. We've got some hero rifles. Got some serious firepower on CJ and Carson. Outside of that, Wax. Nothing much doing. If Nouns can't somehow convert here, EG, I mean, they're right back on path to take us to a 3rd, to take us to the decider, to take us to Inferno.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that even when EG has had a 2-man edge or the rifle edge versus pistols, it feels like it's been anything but a sure thing. Couple of 5v3s, I believe. Didn't go their way. George going to get a nice flashbang from Rush, and this is a good setup.
Good flash indeed. George able to upgrade the rifle. Timely re-smoke back in, and they're bottlenecked away from this one. Not a bad roll of the dice there, Cynic. No clue of the damage he's found, of course. But it's something. Man, if Stamina had a real gun here and not a Glock, I would think he could do something in this position.
Yeah.
It's about full armor with a Glock.
Just gotta get 3 headshots in a row. It's fine. No, okay, never mind.
Goodbye, Stamina. I think maybe he was hoping to accompany a teammate and then pick up his gun, but it's on the wrong side of the map if that's what he wanted to do. Look over, play through. It's not a flash, it's just a smoke, and George, his vision clear. For this round. CJ's gonna back away and save this AK. Or at least attempt to.
Counter-terrorists win.
Stan's gonna challenge. But another good hold there from EG. I mean, they did lose a round after finding the first 2 frags in that type of defense before, but this time around, George gets a little more aggressive into Monster, takes the control, and really doesn't allow them to gain any more space or come back into this round. Of course, it helps that Nouns only had pistols versus AKs across the board. They do save that 1 AK in Carson's hand, and now they have a more proper buy-up. 4 of those said AKs, and 1 Galil, and about half of the usual utility, maybe a little bit above that. Stanislaw's going to toss a nade on forward immediately. He's looking for that aggressive control towards Fountain, but his own smoke going to prevent him from pushing up any further. At least guides his position for a little bit longer, but eventually he's going to have to fall back into bathrooms, and that's exactly what he does. So Nouns will take this space, but Stanislaw still has an angle into party should Nouns decide to walk there. Cynic's going to have to be careful the way he approaches this situation. Look the wrong way and you die. And he doesn't. Cynic gets the opener and then pushes up into bathrooms immediately. Very aggressive play.
The hold, the big kill from Walco, that keeps his teammate alive. That keeps Rush chugging on along here, John, and finally get a chance at this defense. Get a chance at this hole, but they're going to overlook Stamina's position. Rush doesn't realize he's here, but neither does Stamina. All right. Fortunate bit of luck there for Rush that he's not cleared, and now a man advantage as this hit comes in towards B.
Hear them.
Got the info. Molotov's out timely, but his gap in it. It doesn't actually need to be challenged. It can be slipped past, and George instead will hold the line with bullets. Still, time starting to get short. 35 seconds. Becoming a bit of a crunch. It's all on to CJ. It's all on to CJ. He's surrounded. He knows it. A flank's developing behind him. Just a matter of time on this one. The longer he waits, the closer death inches. And Rush will be the one to slip the dagger between the ribs.
All right, so EG have managed to climb their way back into this one, make it 15-13. They have a couple of map points to work with. Send us on over to a third map, which would be appropriate the way this one has gone. Very tightly contested. Nouns will still have a decent buy up here. 2 AKs, 3 Galils, and not much util. That's going to hurt a little bit in terms of their executes, but maybe they can just hit their shots. We'll see if Cynic will be able to do that as he moves into connector. And in fact, EG are just going to back off that aggressive positioning completely. They're going to fall back to more passive hold, at least on the A site. On B, I mean, look at where Walco is. He's pushed up into construction, and he's gaining a lot of information for his squad. That'll allow some rotations to come back towards A, and a heavier stack will almost certainly materialize.
It's Wiz time. Time for the Wizard to show us what he's got. He's got the staff in hand. Spell's coming down range now. Surely, eventually. Waiting with bated breath here. We got the inhale in. The scope on down, but Nouns showing patience as this long play is developing. Now they cross Wiz, but the shot doesn't land. He's got confirmation of what he suspected all along. They're coming his way. Rush. First contact got one. Not quite the second. Wiz with damage, and Stanislaw coming in to seal the deal. We're going to a third map. We're going to Inferno. Evil Geniuses hold on their defense.
Yeah, great work from Stanislaw. I called him out. He immediately just gets multi-kill after multi-kill to carry his team to victory, and the win streak is maintained by Evil Geniuses on Overpass, as we'll head to Inferno, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more right after this break.